twice what you make it, so chop off your hair. Chop off your hair. Damn, Daniel. Back at it again with the hair dye.
Why are you such a copycat?
That meme's as dead as I am on the inside. It's okay. No major disaster here, just sneezing up an entire brain. My eyeball hurts. Ugh. Wow, I'm so great at being a girl. I just smeared the shit out of my eyeliner. It's fine, we're just gonna ignore it. Also in the list of things we're gonna ignore, the little dots on my face that we're not gonna talk about because I'm doing a like 30-day no makeup challenge. I realize I'm wearing mascara, eyeliner, and lipstick. Okay, I'm making an exception for when I film. I like to like put on a little bit of makeup and look better, but I am not gonna be wearing any skin makeup, just like moisturizer and shit. You don't care, you're not here for this. Just don't give me comments about how bad my skin is. Okay, we been new. I'm too white to say we been new. Hey guys, it's Kai. I'm clearly delirious, and if you read the title, it's back to your regularly scheduled mental breakdown. Oh, not really, but usually this is how I deal with all of my problems. So here we are. I mean, look at all those hair colors. Clearly I've had some issues. Also, why am I literally only speaking in vines today? We just don't know. So, as you can see, my hair is this weird ass color. Is the camera still too high up? What kind of a breakdown would it be if the camera angle was great? We're also gonna go ahead and ignore this whole stack of pillows beside me because it's much harder when I'm sitting on a couch instead of like in my chair in my room to put something down and focus it and then line myself up with it and then push it out of frame but still lined up. I need a new camera. It's on the list. Thorn, hello. You just messed up my focus. I love him. This is my roommate's cat. I'm watching him while they're gone for the weekend, which brings me to why I'm in the living room and not in my room because I have the house to myself until tomorrow night. I don't know. I was out here and too lazy to set everything up, so I spent way more energy grabbing everything from my room and bringing it out here. Is my microphone on? Please, dear God. Anyway. You read the title. So, okay, there's this like actually deeply traumatic and emotional thing that happened to me and I wanted to talk about it, but like I don't like talking about things seriously, especially on here. I don't know. I needed to talk through it and process it, and you know, there was like the whole Capricorn full moon. That was like, I'm a beautiful butterfly. Oh my God. And this keeps bubbling up at the top of my mind. I feel like I need to talk about it. My head really hurts and I didn't realize until I touched my temples. Oh my God. So, am I Curtis Connor now? Folks! Oh my God, I just snorted. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to trim my hair and avoid showing any actual emotional trauma while I still talk through this very traumatic event. And I say it like it's like one event that happened, but actually it was like my best friend from like 2009 on, and then we're not even regular friends anymore. It's, you know, in the meantime, I'm gonna fix this mushroom. I was gonna do a disclaimer and be like, I'm not a professional, but like I've been doing my own hair, like cutting it and coloring it since I was, well, cutting it since I was 16 and coloring it since I was like 19, I want to say. You know, I started off with like the purple and then I had the red hair phase, which you all know what that means. Emotional stability. I wish. The second I get a pair of scissors in my hands, I don't know when to stop. Like I have the too much gene that Jenna talks about. Like I feel it. I'm an Aquarius. My entire body is the too much gene. But anyway, I'm gonna trim my hair into more of a bob style. This is like growing out from the pixie, so it looks like a mushroom on my head. So, see whether I do breathe sometimes in between my sentences. I just wait until I run all the way out of air and then I have to gasp. That's you. That's what you look like. Okay, I was gonna call this like tea spilling or something like that, but it's not really tea. I don't feel like it's just like some shit that I've gone through and kind of talking through that. But again, like I don't want to be emotional in this video. Where am I gonna put my hair? Said no sane person ever. I've been doing this for years, I said. Where am I gonna put my hair? I said. Let me just, it's like weirdly long back here and like straight. I love my hair. I feel like it's one of my favorite parts of myself. Personality included. So it's weirdly straight and hanging longer than the rest of it, which is why I need to adjust it. I want it to be like straight all the way around, unlike my sexuality. It is funny that my hair is like straight and then curly like my sexuality. My hair is as bi as I am. So yeah, okay, I guess I can just stop avoiding the topic and get into it. No, I'm not trying to, because I feel like a disclaimer needs to be said. I'm not sitting here trying to trash talk my ex-best friend, okay? And like if you're watching this, which I don't know if you would ever want to see my face again, I don't know, but like if you are, genuinely, like, there is still love in my heart for you. As like cheesy as that sounds, I know that's like what everybody says, but like it's still there, you know, and I don't want anything bad for you. I'm not trying to like shit talk you or smear campaign, and like if any of you happen to know who this is, don't go around and do that to them. Ultimately, it just came down to like very different communication styles, and like we both went through some traumatic shit and then kind of became like overly codependent, and then as soon as I started trying to break away from that, it got worse, and then it got worse, and then it got worse, and then it just got so bad that we couldn't do it anymore. The point is, I'm not trying to sit here and be like the Taylor Swift of YouTube, okay? I'm not gonna like trash people who come into my life and then they leave. Like, that's literally not what I'm trying to do. I just like, I never got to talk about this because let me not be serious and cut my hair. I don't know, I'm very good at pretending like things don't bother me even when they really, really do, just because, you know, that's how I was raised. I was raised in an Irish household. If you know anything about that, basically if you have any emotions at all except for anger, you're a Am I gonna censor that? We just don't know. I bet Editing Kai is very irritated that I just said that word, but you know what? Is there anything better than yes, a really good book. Brad Mundo, if you're watching this, I know you're cringing. I know you're cringing. Oh look, there's one of my curls. So anyway, okay, this person and I met back in my freshman year of high school, which was literally, I started that year in 2008, and it's funny because we had like a math class together, and then we didn't actually start talking until second semester when we had theater together. We had like a project that we were both assigned to do at the same time. It was like one of those like mirroring techniques, and we got paired up together, and so we started becoming friends like just super fast. It was kind of weird actually. Like, especially for me, like conversation used to be really difficult. I know you can't tell now, that's, you know, I talk so much, I literally never shut up. But yeah, no, back then I was like super awkward. Hi, Danny. And it was really dope. We became super fast friends. They were my first like, well, I had like one best friend before that, back in middle school. She was great, but then she moved to Arkansas after 1 year. So when I went to high school, I literally had one friend. I'm telling you, I am not the same person. So fast forward a few years, we were literally so inseparable that it was like, we had like 6 different nicknames for each other. Like, you literally never saw us like one without the other pretty much. Like, we were actually bitter whenever the yearbook came out and we didn't win that dynamic duo award. But this is where it gets messy. I think all throughout high school, it was mostly good. There were some unhealthy boundaries here and there. Some things, like, at first, I quickly was like, oh my god, like, you're my best friend. Like, I love you so much. You're my favorite person in the world. And they had another best friend, but they were in love with her, and then she screwed them over by not being in love back, and then they stopped talking to her and suddenly looked at me and were like, okay, cool, you're my best friend now. I can't believe I didn't see it. And like, okay, it happens, but at the time, I wasn't even like, oh, so I'm a second choice. It did kind of feel that way, that I was just a backup plan, like, oh, well, you're here all along, so I don't have to try, so whatever. Like, I'm just gonna turn my attention to you now. I was like, oh my god, yay, I have a best friend now, and was just so stoked that I was cool with it and never said anything, even though it weirded me out. Fast forward even more, so that was in high school, and when I went to college, they actually took a year off. People grow and change, and I think that's where the main problem lies. As you can tell by now, this video is slightly clickbait. Nobody like backstabbed me specifically on purpose or anything like that. I mean, a lot of the stuff that was done was like not cool and unhealthy, but it was like, I don't think that they ever had like malintent or anything like that. It just, anyway. I'm literally cutting the same spots over and over again. Maybe I secretly just want Brad Mondo to react to my channel, make me famous. My sophomore year, I got involved with this person who I will not name. I have talked about him in the past a lot. I almost married him. I stopped talking to my family because of him. I isolated myself from my friends because of him. He was very manipulative and abusive, and I mostly referred to him as the evil ex. There's a little bit of trauma there. Just a little bit. I should probably give my ex-best friend a name. Mikey. I think there was like a band member or something with that name that they really liked. I don't know, whatever. We'll just call them Mikey. So the evil ex did not like them, made comments all the time to me about them, was trying to tear us apart and whatever, you know, trying to get me to not be friends with him anymore because we were so inseparable, and he knew that Mikey didn't like him. I don't know, apparently, and he could have been lying about this, and I don't remember if I ever even asked Mikey. There's hair in my mouth. Ew. Yeah, I'm gonna wash it down. There we go, that's how I justify it. Oh, Kai, why didn't you use water? You know what? my video. But apparently there was one time that like for one of my birthdays, he tried to invite them up and like even offered to pay for a train ticket for them so that they could get up to the school and hang out with me and whatever, and he was gonna surprise me with that. And they said that they didn't want to, but meanwhile they were texting me the whole time like, oh my god, I miss you, like we never see each other anymore, we never talk, blah blah blah, because they went to school like 2 hours from me. I don't know if that's true or not, but that lingered in my mind for a very long time. So basically we stopped talking for a long time while I was in that relationship, right? And then after I ended that relationship, suddenly boom, we were like best friends again out of nowhere, and it was kind of weird. I actually like wound up living sort of with them for a summer, and then I came back later and officially lived with them for like a year. We like filmed skits together. We originally also before that had like a channel back and forth. Actually well, I've talked about this on my channel before. I guess there's no avoiding that, but there was a channel where we like did videos to and for each other. It was supposed to bring us closer. Honestly, I think at some points it wound up putting a wedge in between us because like I cared way more about YouTube. That's actually what made me fall in love with YouTube, and they just realized that they didn't love it, and I guess I couldn't handle that at the time. I don't know, whatever. I was kind of shitty about it. And that's another thing. I'm not trying to, okay, wow, me. I'm gonna like be funny in this video, okay, but like I'm not sitting here trying to be like, oh my god, like they were the worst, and like thank god, because that's kind of the way I was trying to pretend that I felt for a while after we officially had our like I don't want to be friends anymore fight. But like as much as I know it's for the best and like I don't think we could ever be friends again feasibly, I still kind of like hurt when I think about it. I'm not trying to make them out to be some kind of villain or anything like that, you know. I mean, I've had a few of those in my life and we're not here to talk about those today. I like was at fault sometimes in this friendship as well, because you know, when you're that close to a person and you become kind of codependent with someone, like honestly that's how it is, you know. As shitty as it is and as messy as it might end up, like you're just gonna be at fault sometimes. And you know, it would be false and wrong of me honestly to come on here and be like, oh my god, they were the worst and I was the perfect friend, because no, I wasn't, you know. I was going through shit, they were going through shit. Like me, this is gonna be lighthearted and I'm just gonna talk this through and not ever be sad. I'm a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. To be fair, I am also drinking wine, but I've only drank like 3 sips of it so far, so I think we're doing okay. Okay, it still looks kind of like a mushroom, but it's a little more even over here. Maybe I'm just deluding myself, but maybe I'm just cutting it back short again by accident and I'm just gonna be mad at myself later on. But hey, life's what you make it, so chop off your hair. Chop off your hair. Daenerys, get down. I don't know. Anyway, so after that, so here's the thing. I think it was like unhealthy for a while. There was something about living with them that it just was so different, because like you can't get away from the other person, and like that was great at first, and then it was like when I would like have my like anxiety attacks or whatever, they'd be like right there. And so I guess I started associating, I don't know. Like I don't know how much of this is psychological or whatever, but and then there came the time when I decided I have hair all over myself, and that's what I decided. No, then came the time that I decided I wanted to move to California. California always seemed like a good, exciting place for me, somewhere I just always felt like I was gonna fit in. I also believe in past lives and things like that, and now that I'm out here, I think I've just had many past lives out here, and that's why I felt like I needed to come back. Like it's just, California's just home for me now, so you know. I know my parents want me to move back home, and I'm sorry. Don't know if that's gonna happen, but hopefully one day I'll have enough money to come out and visit like all the time. They'll never get rid of me. One of my internet friends is actually coming to LA in a couple of days. Oh my god, I just spent all of my money on groceries. It's fine. I feel like this already looks way better, but it's still like very crooked in the back. This is that weird spot. So, okay, before we moved, there were a couple of things that were really frustrating. So, you know, obviously it's just like the small like, oh, we're not the same people, but we're trying to have the same relationship as before, which obviously is gonna cause some problems. But also, they decided they wanted to come with me to California, literally not because they wanted to come to California, but because they wanted to get away from their parents, because of their parents' views and everything like that. We're both LGBTQIA plus whatever the members. How long has it been since the video stopped? I just don't know. I've been cutting my hair. Oh my god. Anyway, when it was time to move all the way across the country from North Carolina to California, did I mention I'm from North Carolina? That's 2,300 whatever miles. I didn't want to drive that by myself with them in the passenger seat, but they didn't have a driver's license when they decided to come with me to California. So I started teaching them how to drive in their mom's car. The problem was every time I actually had time and or energy to teach them how to drive or like do like a little lesson or whatever, they'd be like, I don't feel like it, let's do it later. I worked all the time and I had to commute like 45 minutes every single day to work, and then I finally like got another job that was 20 minutes away. That was Starbucks. Stories coming on that place too, but that's another trauma for another time. Basically, I did like this venting post that like, oh my god, like I'm so frustrated, like blah blah blah, like I'm scared I'm gonna have to drive the whole way by myself, like this isn't okay. And I didn't actually talk to them about it, which was shitty on my end, but I was very scared of confrontation back then. Not that that's an excuse, it is just the reason. So they saw the post, they were really upset about it, and then they came to me and talked to me, and after that we decided, fine, we're gonna start doing lessons. The problem was it was so close to when we were moving at that point. Also, they hadn't even looked for a job out in California yet. We had an address set up and everything, and they weren't looking for a job at all. They were just like, oh, just wait. And then I finally was like, no, you need to apply like before you get out there so we don't end up homeless. Foreshadowing, am I right? It was only for a couple of days, it's fine. So they started applying for jobs half-heartedly, didn't get one before we moved out, whatever. Literally, it took them so long to learn how to drive that like by the time we were about to leave, they still didn't have their license. And so the day, let me just say that one more time, the day before we were about to pack up my car and move across the country and switch off driving every 2 hours, we had to go to the DMV and spend like 5 hours there waiting for them to take their driver's test. That was the beginning, I think, of the like me being super mad all the time, like wedge. Because if I'm being real, it's time to dye my hair. You know what? Am I okay? I feel weird all of a sudden. It would be so much work to pick everything up and move everything to the bathroom and then dye my hair in there and then bring everything back out here because this is where I wanted to finish out the video anyway. But yeah, we're just gonna, I have a mirror out here, it's fine. Famous last words probably, but you know. How am I supposed to pull this off? By being fabulous. No, not that kind of pulling it off. I literally, the gloves, okay, there we go. I'm over here acting like this is the biggest feet in the world. They're the biggest hands in the world. No, I'm just kidding. Wow, it's like you can hear Curtis Connor in my mind right now. Our Lord and Savior, Curtis Connor. I'm sorry. Anybody else go to Yee University? I'm having a hard time with my hand condom. I don't know why I just called it that. That was kind of gross. I think it's just because of the way that the thumb is fighting me, and like I have this thing where if I'm wearing gloves, it needs to be all the way against the tip of my finger, and I just, you know, my battery's blinking. I should change it before I start dyeing my hair. Ugh. Okay, I like how originally I was holding the instructions as if I don't know how to dye my hair at this point. It's weird, I feel like I'm like channeling old Kai, old coffee cat. Why am I wearing this skirt to dye my hair? Well, better my skirt than the carpet. Should I have shaken that? I don't know. As if I don't know how to dye my hair at this point. I don't need to look at the direction. Fine. I'm also not wearing my glasses and trying to read the Spanish side. I know what I'm doing. Okay, see, this is literally exactly what I thought. Never second guess yourself, kids. You will never be wrong in life ever. I am leading the youth astray. I say that like enough people watch me for me to lead anyone astray, but you know. Actually, I'm literally almost at 1,000 subscribers. Hello.
When she looks like this and turns like that, when she's so excited, all the words come on. Shake, 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 shake.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm so excited. This, I just got whatever that was on my neck. This feels like home. Better my skirt than the carpet. Also, I did replace the battery, but like just in case it dies while I'm dyeing. I'm so funny. I'm just gonna finish dyeing my hair and then come back after. Anyway, so okay, this, like I said, I don't want this to be like just me ranting about all the things wrong and why I was so upset. There were a lot of little frustrations here and there, and I say here and there, I mean they added up, okay? It was like I was working, they weren't even really looking for a job. They would say that they were, but then they would never apply for jobs, and then they would blame it on their mental illness, which is valid, but also I feel like they overused it and never tried to push through it, which is a shitty thing to say, I know, but that's how I felt at the time. I was frustrated because ultimately, as sucky as it is, like the world doesn't care, you know, like the landlady doesn't care if you just couldn't get out of bed, she still wants you to pay her rent, you know what I mean? Like that sounds really indelicate. I also have a mental illness, and so like I understand, but it was so frustrating with them being like, oh, I'll do it later, and then when I'd be like, well, did you apply for anything today? They'd be like, no, and it was like every single day, just like things like that adding up over time. I mean, it was hard on me. Like I was working at Starbucks, barely making enough to pay like my own bills as it was. My student loans were coming due. My mom was on my ass about it. I was in California and I couldn't do anything because I was just so poor all the time, which I'm sure is a common experience out here, but I looked like an egg. Unrelated, just, oh my God. I was venting to one of my friends one night and she was like, okay, this is like not okay. And like she had known both of us for a long time. She basically wound up telling me like I need to talk to them about it, which I knew it was just the hard thing for me. You know, I'm finally at a point where I can talk to someone about something without it having to be this huge confrontation if I feel a certain way about something that's happening long term. If you just let it fester, you end up dyeing your hair at 24 and having a meltdown because of it. I say this like dyeing my hair blonde means I'm having a meltdown. It really doesn't. I've just missed the blonde and I found a $3 box of hair dye. That's where the mental breakdown comes in because I paid $3 for something that's going on my hair. If Brad Mondo is watching this, he just like slammed his face into the desk. I'm sorry. So basically, my insomnia was getting really bad because I was so stressed all the time about this situation and about money and everything else. I literally didn't sleep that night. I got up and went and did my laundry, which was something that was supposed to be their job. That was another small frustration. It was just, again, a lot of like little domestic things. I was fired up, and while I was away, I wrote out a long ass iPhone note about it. I still have it on my phone. I don't know why. I'm not going to read it to you. There were some things they had done that were kind of like past the point of them not doing a chore or not applying for a job. Like there were some things that were like super just not okay and like very much crossing the line. So there were a few things on there like that, but most of it was like, you know, it's not fair that I work 40 hours a week and I still have to come home and do literally all the chores. It was supposed to be that I would do all the dishes if they would do all the laundry, and then they never did all the laundry. Sadly, even after this conversation, that didn't really change. They would occasionally do all the laundry, but like, you know how you're supposed to have a laundry day like every week or every 2 weeks or whatever, so you can do it in small loads and never run out of underwear? I still had to do a load or two of my own laundry every month pretty much before they would get up and finally be like, okay, I need your laundry so I can go do a load. And this doesn't matter in the scheme of things. They used my quarters every single time they had to go do the laundry. I didn't think it through where I would have to press record again because my camera stops recording occasionally. It's a thing that it does. Am I out of focus now? Anyway, so I sat down, I read them the whole note. Literally, I laid out everything from the time we moved to California until that point. We were already like half a year into being in California. So I laid all that out to them and I told it to them, and their response was, well, I have a mental illness and like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, I'll try. Almost with an attitude. And then there was also another point in the note where it was like, I have student loans, you know, my mom's like on my ass about this and I can barely pay for rent and you haven't paid your half of rent and blah blah blah, and you don't even have a job. And they were like, okay, can we not bring me not having a job into this, because that's like a sensitive topic for me. And I was like, that's one of the main issues that I have. Whatever. Like, it just, every time I finally got up the nerve to say something to them, before then, at that point, and after then, all the way on, they would be like, okay, and like not respond. Or they would throw it back in my face and somehow they would be the victim and I would be wrong for being upset. And like, sometimes, occasionally I get it, because like human emotions are messy, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's not logical and like you don't want to bring things up sometimes, even if you might be at fault. I don't know. I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt so many times because we had been best friends since 2009. And it was, so when we got the apartment, they still didn't have a job. So I paid the deposit by myself. I was the one who looked for the apartment and found the apartment. I actually went and viewed a lot of the places without them because like they just didn't want to come. I don't even remember why anymore. I was already kind of like, if they don't have a job by the end of this first month, like I'm kicking them out, because if I'm the only one paying bills here, then like I don't want to have to split the space with another person. And that's also part of why I lived in the living room. They lived in the bedroom because I didn't want to to have to share space with them anymore. We jumped around. We had 1, 2, 3 different rooms like that we subletted, and then we got the apartment. And every room that we had stayed in together, we literally not only shared the room, but we shared the air mattress. When you're already having issues, that is not the smartest thing. Also, what else is not the smartest thing is not knowing what time it is, because I don't want to keep this in my hair for longer than I need to. Okay. Anyway, so like I stayed in the living room, they stayed in their bedroom. Eventually they actually did get a job, which was a whole nother issue for a little while there. We did have to share my car, and for whatever reason, it somehow turned out that they almost always kept the car and like would drop me off and then keep my car, and then I would walk to and from work sometimes. But walking as a woman alone in that town, even in broad daylight, is terrifying. So after that, I was like, all right, listen, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna keep my car all the time. And this was after like 2 months or something like that. I just honestly got fed up. And I was also still paying for gas almost all the time. They would only ever put gas in the car if like it was almost empty and they couldn't get home, like the gas light was on while they were driving home, then they would put gas in it. My hair is so blonde already. How long has it been sitting in my hair though, like actually? Anyway, I just noticed that it's not even 4 o'clock yet, so oops. Point is, I eventually had to get to a point where the entirety of our relationship was me giving time and energy and trying, like as much as I'm, you know, trying to be fair about this and also admit when like I was also at fault because it wasn't just them, I also tried for a very long time to rekindle the friendship. They just didn't have any interest in it. Like, okay, I guess this is the part that I really wanted to talk about because like, hi, if you came for the comedy, you're probably gone by now. I'm sorry. It was just like they didn't actually care enough to be my friend. They wanted me to provide for them and pay for the bills and clean everything and do everything, but then they never wanted to have a conversation with me, and like I was constantly like a burden and inconvenient for them. And even once they had a job and they had their own money, and I was trying not to be so stressed about that all the time, and I was trying to talk to them like we were still best friends because they were still telling people we were best friends. Like we met someone because we went to an event together that I wanted to go to by myself, and I mentioned, and they were like, oh my god, I want to go. So they bought a ticket and went with me, and I was like, whatever, like maybe we'll still have fun, I don't know. But like clearly I knew in my mind we weren't best friends anymore, and they still told the person we had just barely met like, oh yeah, we're best friends, like we've been best friends since high school. I'm sorry, like best friends don't treat each other like that. Like, I don't know, it was just like when I would talk to them, they would be like waiting for me to finish, and then as soon as I shut up, they would just look back at their computer and press play on their video. And they never left their room. They literally laid in bed and watched YouTube all day, which like I get it, like mental illness and like you're tired and whatever, but also like you never do that. And then you complain about not having friends and how everybody hates you or whatever, but then when I try and like have a conversation, like it's just, you don't give a shit. That had actually been happening honestly since before we moved to California. When they would occasionally get in a mood to have a conversation, they'd come to me and be like, oh my god, did you see this thing? And then as soon as I would start talking back, they'd kind of zone out, and you can tell when somebody stops listening to you, they just kind of glaze over and just like don't ever hear anything you're saying. And it's so annoying, but literally when I did bring this up to them multiple times, and when I did, they'd be like, oh, I never meant for that to happen, like I have ADHD and you just talk so much. And like I joked that I talked like nonstop, but like it wasn't like it was like we were having a good conversation and then their brain would just go somewhere else. It would be like I would be talking or like trying to have a conversation with them, and if they had something to say, they were engaged, and if they didn't have anything to say, they were like waiting to talk and never listening to me. And the moment that really like put the nail in the coffin, or whatever the saying should be, sorry, I'm really trying not to be emotional, I'm just like, this still bothers me, like whatever, like it is what it is. This is what it is. My scalp's burning just a little bit, but not in a bad way yet, so my dandruff's also been bad, so I think that's why. I look crazy, by the way. I'm sitting here talking about my emotions. I look like an egg. One of my favorite YouTubers is Danny Gonzalez, and he does these like joke songs, and they're so funny and I love them, and most of the time he's like rapping in them or whatever, and he has one called Spooky Boy, and that was the first one that like when I heard that I just became like obsessed and I had to know every word to it. I played it over and went over, I learned all the words, whatever. Like Mikey knew that I was like in love with this song, right? And then I told them, oh my God, I'm gonna write a parody, whatever. I decided to make one of my own and call it Spooky Gal. And I was gonna like do the whole same thing, like treat it just like a regular song parody. And I really liked it. Like I still to this day, I'm very proud of it. I never actually wound up making a music video to it. But I did, I mean, I walked around like practicing it all the time. I like ran a couple lyrics by Mikey, and of course they never really cared that much. They were like, oh yeah, that's fine. Or I don't know, I don't really like it. And then that was it. And so basically I put all the, I mean, this was for months and months and months. I think I started working on it in like February because I wanted it to be like really good. And I rewrote it like 5 times and then some. So I finally got like this version of the song where Danny Gonzalez wasn't singing, it was just the background, right? And then I recorded myself doing the lyrics to it, blah, blah, blah. And every time I had tried to like record a song and put it on YouTube before then, there was always some weird thing with the audio mashup, everything else. It doesn't matter, but they never come out how I want them to. This one though, I mean, I worked so hard on it, and I think I actually did a really good job on making it come out. And so I did the whole thing, I recorded it, I put it all together, I exported it, and then I literally ran into Mikey's room, like jumping up and down, so excited, like, oh my God, I just finished it, like, I want to play it for you, I'm so excited, like, it sounds exactly how I want it to, like, let me play it for you. Something I'd been pouring my heart and soul into for months and months and months, and they had seen me pour my heart and soul into it. Like, I wish this didn't even matter, but like it really did. It just, oh my God. Like when I make stuff, like it's anyway. So I run in there and I bring my computer in and I'm so excited. I tell them I have to play this for you, and I press play and I'm sitting there and I'm like dancing to it and kind of like mouthing along the words because I'm like really proud of it and really excited. And they're literally just sitting there like, literally just waiting for it to end, like clearly so bored, like they had paused a video they were watching and then I came in and whatever. And when it was done, I wish this didn't matter. Like, I feel like I'm being so like emotional about this for no reason, but it literally, it hurt me so much. It stung almost as much as my scalp is starting to. I should go rinse my hair. And instead of saying anything to me, all they did was the second that it stopped playing, the second that it was over, they nodded and pressed play on their video. And I just got up and left. Okay, I'm gonna go rinse my hair. Am I in focus? My glasses are on. Do I look weird without my glasses now? That sucks. Oh, everything is blurry. So the last time when I dyed my hair brown, I did not like it. I like genuinely, I can say that now that my hair is not brown anymore. I was trying so hard and it didn't look awful. I just hated it, which is funny because it's the first color I ever wanted to dye my hair, and I just, but anyway, the whole point is I'm really excited, and I love how the cut turned out too, because I didn't feel like I had done like a really good job. I thought, you know, I just kind of haphazardly cut a little bit and it looked okay, but no, I feel like it really has like the bob cut that I've been wanting. I just need to grow it out a little bit more, but it already has the shape now, thank God. I hope you guys enjoyed me being an emotional ass bitch and trying not to be an emotional ass bitch about this like deeply traumatic experience that I've had. It's fine. I'm fine. I opened a second bottle of wine, but I'm fine. This was supposed to be mental health day, and I like how I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna take the day for myself and do nothing that I absolutely have to do. And instead, I got up, I got dressed, I spent like an hour at Target getting groceries and also other essentials that I've been putting off for way too long. And now here I am dyeing my hair, filming a video, day drinking. I'm 24, why am I day drinking? And then I'm gonna go live later. Like, when you do what you love. Okay, that's okay. Okay, well, I do want to say really quick, I don't know if it's still on my lips, but the lipstick I was wearing is actually incredible because it survived the entire shower. My mascara, my eyeliner did not, as I expected, so I had to wipe it all off and shit. But that lipstick, literally when I got out of the shower and I was looking at my like bleached hair, my lips were still red and it didn't smear anywhere. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you somehow managed to stay this far, or if you skipped along just to see what my hair would look like and then exit, what's up, I see you too. And hey, I mean, it's still a click. Does dragging the little thing along the bar count as engagement? I am losing it. Thank you so much for watching, especially to this week's Shout of the Week across the screen right here. You know, I should probably just like stop trying to come up with something creative every single time for every single Shout of the Week, because I never know what to say, and there's always this weirdly long gap in between where I'm like, What do I say?
And then it's always something stupid like, oh my god, like you're so dope. Like it's just the same thing every time.
But anyway, you're so dope.
That sounded sarcastic, but I promise it's not.
But for real, thank you for being so active and so awesome and supportive, and I do love you a lot, 10 out of 10, and I'm very glad that you're a part of the Coffee Cat family, as cheesy as that sounds. And if you want to be Shout of the Week, all you have to do is be active with me on my social media, linked in the description box down below. Twitter's your best bet, or Instagram. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Give me those thumbs and share this video if you like me, please. I risked my hair falling out for you, and also I got weirdly vulnerable on camera, and it was super uncomfortable for me. Wow. Just guilt your audience and make them feel like shit for watching a video that you decided to film and post. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna go. How many times am I gonna try an outro? I just don't know. I would say take a shot every time, but I'm pretty sure we need a liver to survive, right? Thank you for watching this weird ass video. Stay cool, my dudes, and I'll see you in the next one.
Why are you such a copycat?
I was trying to come up with something funny to say for like stay emo my dudes or something like that, but there literally like was nothing that I could, I'm tired. Bye.